Hey guys, it's Finn here and welcome back to another Premier League prediction video where today I'll be discussing every single game for Premier League match week 17. And wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves another really exciting match week because we've got games like Manchester United versus Aston Villa, where if Manchester United beat Villa, they go to the top of the Premier League table. Never in my wildest dreams did I see that one coming. We also have games like Leeds United versus Tottenham Hotspurs, but let's be honest, we're just watching this in hopes that there's a punch between Bielsa and Jose Mourinho. And of course, games like Manchester City versus Chelsea. There are a lot of really good games this match week that you will not want to miss. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if it is not, welcome back to you on this YouTube channel. If you are new here and you enjoy regular football content, which I mean, who doesn't? I mean, if you have someone in your life who doesn't enjoy regular football content, get that person out of your life. You don't need that kind of negativity. But if you enjoy regular football content, hit that subscribe button down below so that you do not miss future uploads. It would really mean a lot to me. But without further ado, let's get into an insane Premier League match week prediction. Now, getting into the predictions, the first prediction I have for you guys is actually going to be a really tricky one, as it is between David Moyes' old team and David Moyes' new team, which I will admit, as a Manchester United fan, nothing terrifies me more than the thought of two David Moyes. David Moyes? I don't know what the plural to David Moyes is, but it is between Everton and West Ham United, and this will be tricky to predict as both teams have their problems. Looking at Everton, I mean, they've started the season off really strong and they're still doing really well, but lots of their creative players are injured at the moment. Allen, James Rodriguez, Richarlison, all injured, but luckily for Everton, I will give them a win because of their squad depth, and luckily for them, Digne is back in the squad. But they are lucky. I mean, they are missing a player like James Rodriguez, but Sigurdsson has filled in his place, and he has done really well. I mean, if only there was some sort of record of Icelandic players doing well against English players. But jokes aside, looking at West Ham United, they've also got their problems because they've picked up big points this Premier League season, but as of late, they've gotten draws versus Crystal Palace, Brighton, Southampton, and a 3-0 loss versus Chelsea. I'm not going to say they should have won all those games. I mean, I'm not insane, but they definitely should have picked up more points in my opinion. But at the end of the day, as I said, due to squad depth and current form, I have to go for Everton. Now, in terms of a player to watch, it could come from either side. I think it could be someone like Cresswell or one of the attackers from West Ham, or definitely someone from Everton. The problem is the majority of players I would normally go for are injured. But once again, I have to go for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Top scorer for Everton so far this season, and I can definitely see him doing a decent job versus West Ham United. I don't know, anything can happen, and I'm pretty excited to see this one. Woohoo, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 is going to be another banger. I repeat, another banger, as it is between Manchester United and Aston Villa. Because looking at Manchester United as of late, look, it is no secret that they have been in fire form as of late. And looking at Aston Villa, they look like they could end the season in a Champions League spot. I mean, if you offered that to them last season after narrowly avoiding relegation, I think that they would be pretty happy with that, and I'm pretty sure they would take it. And looking at Aston Villa as of late, I mean, they drew versus Chelsea, a 3-0 win versus Crystal Palace, a 3-0 win versus West Brom. Aston Villa are not looking bad, so I think this could be an incredibly close game considering both teams' forms. And I think there's a lot of quality in both of these teams from defense to attack. It is going to be so exciting, but as you guys can see, I think Manchester United will just scrape a win, and I'm basing that just off of current form. They've been in a really long streak of not losing points, and they've looked very, very good. Or should I say not losing games. I think both teams are looking very good, and absolutely anything can happen. And in terms of a player to watch, I think Jack Grealish, look, he's always a shout. I don't even have to mention him anymore. He's just guaranteed to be a player to watch. I think Cavani, I would love to say Cavani is a player to watch, but something about my brain is just saying Bruno. And you know what? What the brain or the heart says, you have to listen to. So that is what I'm going to go for. I have to go for Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United's top goal and assist scorer so far this Premier League season. And I think he could be a real shout for player to watch in a fixture like this. As I said, anything could happen, and it is going to be such a good game to watch. Next up, we have a really fascinating game, as it is between a manager who loves to use his words and a manager who just can't speak English. The unlikeliest of enemies, Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspurs and Bielsa's Leeds United. Now, this could be a very fascinating game to watch. And to be honest, I'm a bit worried about Tottenham Hotspurs because they've had a major dip in form. They have not won any of their last 4 Premier League games. Now, this is recorded before the Fulham Spurs game, so I don't know what will happen there, but they need to win versus a team like Leeds United, which I think they will do. As you can see, I predicted I think it's a 2-0 win to Tottenham Hotspurs, because looking at Leeds United, yes, they've gotten some big results as of late. A 5-2 win versus Newcastle United, a 5-0 win versus West Brom, a win versus Burnley, but don't forget, in between that mixture of great wins, they lost 6-2 to Manchester United, which is just proof to them that they are not perfect and that versus tactically stronger teams, they do struggle. And I think they'll have a similar problem versus Tottenham Hotspurs, because looking at Spurs, no man studies a team better than Jose Mourinho. I think Mourinho, look, this is new tactics here, but I think Mourinho will park the bus. I think defensively he'll be strong for Leeds United and very tricky to break down, and that's why I think Spurs will win a game like this. Now, in terms of a player to watch, it could be a multitude of players from different clubs. Multitude, that is a word that I've just used. I'm very well done, Finn. Well done with that one. But I think my player to watch will be Heung-min Son, because obviously he is very good on the ball, very fast. And versus Leeds United, he should do a good job, because Leeds United, one of the worst defenses in the league. And once again, Heung-min Son on fire form. But as I said, Tottenham Hotspurs need to win this game if they want a chance at winning the Premier League this season, which I also wanted to ask you guys to put down in the comment section down below who you guys think will win the Premier League this season. Be honest with your answer. It is your opinion, along with your top scorer this Premier League season. Who do you think it will be? I am fascinated to see who you pick. Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United is next, and Roy, what is wrong with your team? Crystal Palace are so weird. They can draw to Leicester City and Tottenham Hotspurs, but then lose 3-0 to Aston Villa and 7-0 to Liverpool. I don't know. Crystal Palace is so weird, man. But versus a team like Sheffield United, I feel like I have to give them the win, because Sheffield United are still yet to win a single game this season. I mean, look, they have to win eventually, right? Right? There's no way they can't not win a game this entire season. But versus Crystal Palace, I just think Palace are the better season. Yes, they've had a few wonky results, but Gaeta, I really have faith in his ability between the posts. The attack of Palace looks very, very strong when they are in form. And versus the likes of Sheffield United, I can definitely see Palace scoring. Because yes, Sheffield United have their moments, but defensively, shocking. Midfield-wise, shocking. Attacking-wise, not creating enough. Palace are by far the better team. And in terms of a player to watch, guys, we are watching a prime Wilfried Zaha. I have to make him my player to watch, because Wilfried Zaha, 8 goals and 2 assists in 14 Premier League games. He's only ever gotten double-digit goals once in the Premier League in his entire career. He has 2 goals off of that with more than half the season left. Wilfried Zaha is on fire, and he is going to be the player to watch in a fixture like this. Brighton versus Wolves is next, and unfortunately for Brighton, I can only see Wolves winning this one. Much like real life, I can see Wolves tearing apart the Seagulls.
Stop it. Get some help.
But you know what? You get the idea. I just think Wolves are the much better team. Along with that, Brighton have been so heavily disappointing so far this season. They've been so disappointing. You might as well call them Game of Thrones Season 8. FC, because I mean, looking at them, they got players like Adam Lallana and Feltman this Premier League season. They've got quality all over the pitch, but yet they are 17th place on the table, just outside of the relegation zone. With a team like they currently have, you would expect at least a mid-table finish around 12th or 13th place. But no, they've been so disappointing. I can only see Wolves winning this one, because although Wolves haven't been as good as they were last season or the season before, they are still much better than Brighton. They've got quality all over the pitch. They are taking their attacking chances. Defensively, they still have their really good moments. Yes, they've lost their points here and there late on in games, especially we saw that versus Manchester United. But at the end of the day, as I said, there's more quality in this Wolves team than the Brighton team. They have to win it. And in terms of a player to watch, if Podence plays in a game like this, if he's playing, he will be my player to watch, as he has been so consistent throughout the season, and he's just so good on the ball. West Brom versus Arsenal is next, and I'm not gonna lie to you people, originally I had a draw between these two teams, because if there is any team to lose points versus West Brom, It would be Arsenal, let's not lie to ourselves, but after that 5-0 loss to Leeds United from West Brom, I have to give Arsenal a win because unfortunately for Big Sam, look, I really rate Big Sam's ability, but West Brom is going to be such a mission for him. Defensively, they don't apply pressure, they are not looking good. Midfield-wise, there is nothing there for them. Attacking-wise, they have potential, but they still have a lot of work to do. And versus Arsenal, even Arsenal can get points past West Brom nowadays. And congratulations, Arsenal, you've just won 2 games in a row in the Premier League for the first time since September versus Brighton and Chelsea, but they still have a lot of work to do in a game like this because yes, they won versus Brighton, but versus Brighton, Arsenal really should get a bigger win, and versus Chelsea, yes, they got 3 goals past Chelsea, who are in fire form, but a penalty, a free kick, and let's be honest, Saka's goal was not intentional. I think Arsenal still have a lot of work to do when it comes to open play. And versus West Brom, I really think that they need to show that ability. So you know what? I do think Arsenal should win versus West Brom. And in terms of a player to watch, I have to go for Saka because to be honest, when it comes to attack, he is probably the most threatening player, which to be honest, considering he's on the same team as a striker who was competing with Robert Lewandowski, it's kind of a compliment. Burnley versus Fulham is next, and I've actually been very impressed with Burnley as of late because they've gotten some valuable points. They're actually slowly creeping away from the relegation area. I mean, they've just beat Sheffield United. A few weeks ago, they beat Wolves. So at the end of the day, Burnley aren't looking too bad. But versus Fulham, I actually think Fulham could get points from this, because I've watched Fulham over the last few weeks and they've actually got quality all over the pitch, and when they perform really well, and they've gotten some decent results as of late. As I said, this is before the Spurs game, but at the moment Fulham have gotten 4 draws in a row, points that are very, very valuable, and I think they have potential to beat Burnley because, as Sean Dice from Burnley said, they are still lacking that creative ability up front, or I mean, more accurately, they are still lacking that creative ability up front. I don't know, I think from set pieces, Burnley can look strong, but they really still need to create their own open play chances up front because Wood and Barnes, unfortunately, aren't cutting it for me. But as I said, I think Fulham will watch, a lot of quality overall in their team, lots of potential, and in terms of a player to watch, I'm actually going to go for Bobby Reid. Although, yes, his numbers aren't fantastic, I have seen spectacular moments from time to time from him. I think he's got 4 Premier League goals at the time of recording. He's not looking bad. As I said, numbers aren't great, but I have seen 1 or 2 shining moments from him. Newcastle United versus Leicester City is next, and I just have to give Leicester City the win in this one because looking at Newcastle United, they have been in horrific form as of late. They've lost 2-0 to Manchester City, they've drawn to Fulham, this is before the Liverpool game, so they will be tied from that, and they got knocked out of the EFL Cup by Brentford. I mean, look, I can't say I'm too surprised by Newcastle United, considering they probably still think of Joe Linton as a professional football player, but at the end of the day, they don't have a good record versus Leicester City anyway, and with Newcastle's current form, I have to give it to Leicester City. But saying that, Leicester City have also been unpredictable as of lately. They've drawn to Manchester United, but they've also drawn to Crystal Palace. They beat Tottenham Hotspurs, but they lost 2-0 to Everton. I don't know, absolutely anything can happen to Leicester City at the moment. When they do get goals or they do get wins, I do find that they leave it way too late in the game. But you know what? I think in a game versus Newcastle, Leicester City really should win this one. And in terms of a player to watch, I'm going to say Harvey Barnes, because as of late, he has looked so incredibly strong. And if he continues this kind of form, he is really, really looking like he could get an England international shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our second last game of the episode, which once again, if you've enjoyed up until this point, hit that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. But next up, we have a Battle of the Blues. And no, I don't mean some sort of Battle of the Bands between 2 Blues teams. I mean Chelsea versus Manchester City, which, it's been a while since I've seen a fixture like this without actually knowing who the favourites are. Because looking at Chelsea, they've been strong throughout the season, but ever since their win versus versus West Ham United. They've lost 3-1 to Arsenal and they've drawn to Aston Villa. But in all fairness, that game versus Arsenal, as I said earlier, I think Arsenal were lucky with their set pieces and some of their goals were lucky too. And versus Aston Villa, Chelsea were the stronger team. They really dominated that game. Where if you look at the likes of Manchester City, look, if both teams had their fittest teams, I would give this to Manchester City every day of the week. But unfortunately, although Man City have the better team, majority of their players are out due to COVID, unfortunately. Kyle Walker is out, a bunch of the midfielders are out, I think Gundogan's out, I think Jesus is out up front, and of course the big one is Edison between the posts. Those are lots of key players for Manchester City, and especially Edison, because Man City at the moment don't have a really good second choice goalkeeper option. So because of that, I will give Chelsea the win in this. And in terms of a player to watch, I'm going to give it to Tammy Abraham. He's been so impressive at the moment. 6 goals for Chelsea, their top scorer at the moment, which Timo Werner, what is wrong with you? You are telling me that a player that was loaned out to Aston Villa 2 seasons ago is doing better than a striker who scored 40 goals last season? How has that happened? But you know what? Whatever the reason is, I think Tammy Abraham or Giroud is the better option up front for Chelsea, and I think one of them will be the players to watch. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have already reached our final game of today's episode, but worry not, as it is still a banger of a game between Southampton and Liverpool. Not gonna lie, I think this game could be very close, and I actually originally had it down as a 1-1 draw. A bit of a shock result, but you know what, at the end of the day, I do think Liverpool probably will end up winning this game due to their quality of team overall, but I am worried about them as they have lost some funny points as of late. Yes, they beat Crystal Palace 7-0, but they got draws versus Fulham, Brighton and West Brom, teams that they really should be beating quite comfortably. Now, don't forget guys that this is recorded before the Newcastle United game, so I don't know what will happen there, but you know what, with the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool lost points to Southampton, because Southampton have actually looked very good throughout this entire season, and they've actually got quality all over the pitch. It is just a matter of Danny Ings picking up on form now that he is back from injury. But as I said, due to just total quality of team, Liverpool should take this one, but I don't think Southampton will make it easy. And in terms of a player to watch, yes, Mo Salah would be the easy one to go for, but I have to go for Sadio Mane because he looked so good in that West Brom game. Yes, I know he hasn't had a fantastic season, but I think he will start to pick up on form as of now, and especially versus his ex-team, Southampton, I think that he will want to prove something. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's Premier League prediction video for match week 17. Hope that you have enjoyed it. Once again, if you have, hit that like button down below, subscribe if you are not. It really does help the channel out massively, and put your predictions down below. I'm interested to see what you guys say. And of course, this is my final video of 2020, the horror year. Let's hope that 2021 is different, and I hope that it is all a fantastic year for you people. But guys, this has been Finn, FYNN, love and appreciate every single one of you. Cheers.
Unknown Brain, Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about